10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Press Box with your hosts, Scott Fitzgerald and Sean Clemens.
What's up, Fantasy World? Welcome to another edition of the Fantasy Football Press Box, brought to you by Sudden Death Fantasy Sports. I'm your host, Sean. This is my co-host, Scott, and we are here today to talk to you guys about fantasy football and March Madness tournament. Scotty, my friend, how have you been?
I've been okay. I think I threw my back out last night when I jumped off the couch watching Duke get flushed down the toilet.
I know, huh? What a finish that was, man. Good Lord, what a game, dude. Do you think that was probably one of the greatest finishes that you've seen in the tournament? I mean, that it's got to be up there in the top 5, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what year it was, but I mean, everybody loves how much I love Michigan. I mean, Jordan Poole unloaded a half-court shot to advance them. But as far as like this game and this shot, because of the moment, getting to the Final Four, and Duke was just controlling that game. They, blew the lead. Connecticut was horrible from 3. It was just an awful game for Connecticut, and then just a blunder for Duke. I mean, you get a freshman guard getting the ball and panicking, and all he had to do was hang on to it and go to the free throw line, and he tried to throw it, into the front court, and it got tipped and stolen, and the guy just all net, just freaking drained it like ice cold killer,
right?
3-point. So
yeah, nearly from the logo too. I mean, he was nearly on it. The logo, it was insane, man. What a great finish to a game that literally, like you said, I mean, Duke was in control the entire time. So I just didn't think that I even had a shot. Like I had UConn in a bracket. It was definitely important for me that UConn won that game. It almost locks me in for the win on that bracket, to be honest with you. So I was really excited to see that game, and I was hoping that, out of all the games, that was the one that I really needed the most. And it didn't look like I even had a shot, man. I mean, it was so bad. I honestly jumped in the shower at halftime and didn't even watch like the first so many minutes of the second half. And when I came back to watch the game, they had gotten within 10 by that point, and I was just like glued to the TV for the rest of it. And it was insane how it looked like it was over, man. It looked like they had the ball. All they had to do is keep control. They didn't even have to cross half court because it was a 10 seconds exactly on the dot. So the game clock and the marker, it wouldn't have been a penalty for them. They could have just sat there and held the ball and waited for what most likely would have been a foul, and then go to the free throw line and extend the game and so on and so forth. But I don't know why he did it. All of a sudden he just throws the ball up in the air, like the dude jumps up, tips it, turns around, passes it, done, game over. It was just like, wow, dude, like could not believe it.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone knows my hatred for Duke, but I do feel for that kid. I mean, he's going to be remembered, for that. I mean, Duke was the number 1 overall seed going into the tournament, and he's going to be remembered for making that critical error that cost his team a chance for a national title. Yeah. Now, do I think Duke would have won a national title? I don't think so, because I think the 2 best teams in the tournament are going to play the national championship game next week in the semifinals, and it's going to be Arizona and it's going to be Michigan, who are the top 2 teams in this tournament left. And in my opinion, we're the top 2 teams going into the tournament.
So basically you're saying, because they play each other in the Final Four, so you're saying that the winner of that game is going to win it all pretty much no matter what happens on the other side?
Correct.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's a prediction there for you guys. You heard it here first. When we want to give Scott a bunch of mess about his prediction that's going to go completely wrong, then this is where you go back and refer to. You say, "Hey, Scott, what about that episode where you said this was going to happen?" And here we are.
Oh, I'll eat my words if it doesn't happen. I mean, but I mean, you just look at the 4 teams that are left, and you look at 2 teams, one in Michigan who basically blows everyone out by 30 or 40 points. You got an Arizona team that has legitimately 5 players that could be playing in the NBA right now. So in my opinion, these are just the 2 best teams, and the committee did a disservice to us by putting Duke as the number 1 overall seed. I don't think they should have been the number 1 overall seed. It should have been Arizona. And if Arizona was the number 1 overall seed, like it should have been, it didn't matter if Michigan was the 2 or 3 seed. There would have been a chance that they would have met in the national championship game instead of the semifinals.
Yeah, it does suck when you feel like the 2 best teams are playing before the last game. That's always like not kind of how you want it to happen. We've had the same thing happen before in the AFC battle, and then figure the NFC team is going to, like this year, whoever won the NFC, I think pretty much assumed was going to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I really didn't think that the AFC guys had a shot at it by that point. So, that's kind of the situation that we're in, according to you. So we'll see. I think the Fighting Illini look like they got a lot of fight in them. So I ain't gonna rule them out. And then the way UConn came back, I mean, you could ride that type of game all the way to a championship easily with the momentum that gives you. So I can't sit here and say that either of those teams is gonna be a run over for whoever wins the Arizona Michigan game. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a run over, but I mean, and it's not like those teams are bad. I mean, UConn's won multiple championships. They got a great coach, and Illinois, they have a bunch. If you look at their team makeup, they have a lot of Europeans on their team, and a lot of Europeans that they can shoot. So you never know. A team gets hot. There's 2 things in the NCAA tournament where you have to avoid. You have to avoid a hot shooting team, especially from 3. They get hot, they can roll up points, either catch up or go ahead. And the other thing is runs. There's always runs in the game. And so even if you're up by 12, 15 points, there's always going to be a run coming, so you got to kind of battle that. And that's kind of what happened yesterday in that Duke and UConn game was, UConn was getting punched in the mouth, but you knew UConn was going to make a run. No matter how bad they were shooting, they were going to make a run, and they got it close. And then we all know what happened at the end. So for me, it's been a really exciting tournament. But I mean, the best 4 teams are there. I mean, bottom line, I mean, that you gotta play the team that's in front of you. There's no reseeding in the tournament. You just play the next guy in your line. And, sometimes you get a favorable matchup with a lower seed, because they beat a higher seed before, or sometimes you got to play basically the gauntlet all the way through the tournament and just play the best team all the way through, kind of what Arizona did. They've gone through all the high seeds all the way through.
Yeah. And, speaking of all the high seeds, we got to say hi to all of our seeds in the comments section. So we got Cool Tyrant in here. What's up, Cool Tyrant? And Jamie, how you doing, Jamie, man? Jamie will be with us here on Thursday for a special edition live draft episode coming up of the Press Box, guys. So make sure you tune in for that. That'll be on the 2nd at 6:00 p.m. West Coast time, the Best Coast time, and 9:00 p.m. East Coast time. We also got our buddy Shadows, man, our Schefter of the pod. He did say Michigan and UConn would win, and now he's saying UConn and Arizona in the finals. I can't argue with the man. I can't. He's definitely on point with a lot of his predictions beyond just basketball, NFL as well. And speaking of Shadows, he's going to give us a little Nuggy McNuggerson, like we get a lot from him. He's saying Lakers' Luka Doncic has been suspended for Monday's game against the Wizards after picking up a 16th technical foul, which obviously y'all know I'm not much of an NBA guy, but I do know who Luka is. I know he's one of the best in the league, and I have a lot of great friends out here that are Laker fans. So I just want to say to them, ha, ha. So next up, we got more about this too. What's he talking about? NBA playoff positions are set too. We're now on the road. And who will be in the play-in tournament? And for the first time in 10 years, the Hornets make the playoffs. Look at that. I mean, I love the way that this guy just throws these out here, man. I really do. I can't
You
say.
like? I mean, I know
nothing
you don't watch. I know you don't watch basketball that much, and I kind of don't either. I mean, I'm more of a college guy, but you like this new like NBA like playoff thing that they do? Because I don't really like it.
Well, I'm a fan of like a play-in aspect for certain situations. Like I think the way baseball does it is awesome. I like baseball's like kind of setup, and I do like the idea of doing it in the NCAA tournament. I don't like the way they do it in the NCAA tournament. I would probably say the same thing about the NBA. But that, I don't think that there should be any way that a team that's not last ranked should ever have to play their way into a tournament. You should not play your way in for an 11 seed in the tournament like they did this year and stuff like that. It's not right to me. Only the last seeded teams should ever have a chance to play their way into a tournament. There's no reason it shouldn't be that way. If a 14 seed gets in for free and the 11 seed has to play their way in, that's ridiculous. But EKG Cowboy, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Up,
I'm sorry,
Cowboy?
EG Cowboy.
Yeah, he's actually drafting. I think he's drafting right after me in this. In this draft that we're in right now. Yeah, EG Cowboy. He's the one that you replaced. Did the little replacement for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got to hook him up, man. I mean, you guys, if you're in our drafts and stuff like that, and you miss a pick and things like that, as long as you guys get to us quick and everybody in the league is pretty friendly about it for the most part. Nobody really has any issues working with each other because we're all friendly here, man. This is all for fun. We're all having a great time doing these drafts. We don't want to create any unnecessary drama for any of us to have to deal with because we know that life brings plenty of that all on its own. So we don't want to help that along with this in our fantasy leagues. Not one bit. We do have some more, like I said, breaking news coming out of our man Shadows over here, talking about the Cardinals favored to draft star pass rusher David Bailey with the number 3 pick, which is surprising considering we've had a lot of talk about Ty Simpson being that guy at that potential spot there. So that's a good segue into that. Let's talk a little bit about the draft here real quick before we go too crazy because we're waiting on Psyborg. He's going to come in later. We're going to talk a little more Sweet 16 with Psyborg when he shows up here. But for now, let's talk a little bit about this number 3 spot here. This is kind of that pick, right? Where, almost everybody anyway has Fernando 1, Reese 2. Right. I mean, that's pretty much the consensus, which to me is kind of surprising considering that the Jets are at 2 that could very easily take a quarterback as well. So I don't understand why everybody's so dead set that they're not. But I mean, it is what it is. Maybe they just think they're not in love with 1 and they're going to wait till next year. But to me, I think that the Jets, number 1, could make a move for 2. But at number 3, that's where the intrigue really starts. Because I do think that if Ty Simpson continues to climb the board, this could be the Jackson Dart of this season. And he goes at that number 3 pick because as a quarterback, you know what it is. If you really think a quarterback is that guy, you don't take a chance. You don't, he might be able to get him later and let's jump back and see if we can get a little. No, if you really think that he's that guy, you just get him. You just take him at 3 and you're happy you got him, right? Like a la Drake May, Patriots at 3 back then, right? Same kind of scenario. Do you feel like that it will get to that point, or do you think that's just not going to be the case and they're going to go ahead and go a different route and David Bailey would maybe be their pick?
Well, I mean, we talked about this last week. I mean, really the only, and I've kind of dug into Ty Simpson a little bit. I've watched more film on him. I've kind of read up more about him. And, what I'm looking at is like we talked about last week where everything okay, Sean?
Yeah, I'm just making fun over here of this little comment down here that just fits exactly what I said that says the Jets are rumored to take Simpson.
No. So what the only concern with Ty Simpson was the career starts. Everything else I've read and heard is he has really good football IQ. He processes things very well. And for a rookie quarterback to come into the National Football League, you need to process things quickly. If you go to a team like the Jets, where you could have multiple coaches down the road, you're going to have multiple playbooks that you need to learn. You need to process that stuff very quickly, or you're not going to survive in this league. So, and he actually is a very good, very accurate passer. So, and the mechanics are pretty good. So, yeah, the Jets held a private workout for him. If they like what he sees, I agree. If they think he's the guy and comes from an SEC school, which are, we all know those schools are just NFL players. So, if they like him and he shows well, I think, they'll probably take him, and then they'll have their supposed franchise franchise quarterback. I mean, the Jets have just been a disaster when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, they just can't.
I was just
get
wondering,
it right.
like, is it actually the number 2 pick that they took Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold both at number 2, or were they
Sam Darnold number 1? Sam Darnold, I think, was the number 1.
He was the one quarterback. He wasn't the number 1 overall. He was the first quarterback in that draft, but he wasn't the 1 overall because that was Josh Allen's draft. So I remember that.
Oh, okay.
I want to say that was maybe Garrett's draft. Does that sound right? Maybe Myles Garrett came out.
Maybe Shadows knows.
Shadows would know. Shadows knows everything, man. That guy's like an encyclopedia, and he just has breaking news in there all the time too. It's insane how good that guy is at it. But yeah, so I mean, do you really feel like that's the case, man? Do you really think that the Jets could end up taking another quarterback there too? And then if that happens, you got the Cardinals at 3 and Reese and Bailey on the board. Do they stick to their guns and take the guy that they maybe studied, or do they take a guy that they assumed was never there and now they're gonna, not really have as much tape on him and be a little concerned about, did they do their research on a guy that they assumed was already gone? Does that kind of create that like slide for a guy like Reese? Does he get the draft day slide like old Bo?
I mean, it comes down to the people that are going to be pulling the trigger. It's going to be, it's going to be the management. The management's going to be the ones that pull the trigger. So they're going to have to make the phone calls to the coaches, and they're going to have to do their homework, and they're going to be the ultimate ones that pull the trigger on this. So they got to get it right. And if, to me, I just think you really have to nail that quarterback. He's got to check all the boxes for you. I mean, because being the organization like the Jets, always getting it wrong, and you had Sam Darnold in your building at one time, and he's a Super Bowl champion now. I mean, how is that?
Darnold was 3 and Wilson was 2. So if they take Simpson at 2, you're going to have Darnold taken at 3, Wilson taken at 2, and Simpson taken at 2. And like, you're going to be in the same boat with him that you were with Wilson, right? Like the same question marks are there. Not to say he's the same player by any means, but the same question marks are there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. If I was a Jets fan, I'd be like, please not again.
I mean, just from what like I said, the research I've done, the tape that I've saw, I think he could be a really good quarterback, especially knowing that he's got the football IQ and he can process stuff very fast. So, and that's what you're really going to need. So, I think that goes a long way for a signal caller.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's probably a lot of the reasons that Josh Allen ended up becoming the player he did, because he was, coming out very similar. He had a lot of experience, but just not a whole lot of accuracy, and he had a lot of the same kind of issues that people were thinking weren't going to translate well. And then, certain people just have the ability to, learn more and get better. Some don't. All Zach Wilson, right? Like, some people can, some people can't. Hopefully Ty Simpson can, because the talent, like you said, is there. So Shadows is asking a question over here that he said he asked the D-Gen boys too. He's asking him a couple weeks ago at where will you see a top 10 trade like last year with Jags Browns? Do you see that happening at any point? And I do have an intriguing one that I wanted to talk to you about, which I actually thought about, and I really appreciate Shadows bringing up this question, because this is something I thought about the other day that I was like, man, I want to ask Scott if he thinks this is even remotely possible. So you go ahead though, Scotty. You go first. Anything that you think could happen in the top 10? What's your number one? Like, this could most likely be, if there is a trade, this is going to be the way that it happens, in my opinion.
God, I don't know. I really didn't look that much into it.
You want me to tell you mine?
Well, give me your trade.
Okay, so we'll start with mine then, right? So this is my intriguing trade that I think could potentially happen. And what got me thinking about this was watching a segment of Good Morning Football, and they were talking a lot about a quarterback who signed in a team this offseason that could potentially turn out to be like the best free agent signing of the season. And I'm talking about none other than the little man himself, Kyler Murray in Minnesota. And that combination right there, I think, has a chance with him and Kevin O'Connell of being a tremendous upgrade for that team and potentially putting them in like serious contention on the NFC side for a Super Bowl run. Not only do I think that they do that, I think they go all in and they make a trade up to get Jeremiah Love. What do you think of them apples?
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, they haven't had a back like that since Adrian Peterson, so that would be definitely be a huge splash. You know, but their defense is kind of falling apart though too. So, you know, I mean, you got to be able to.
But if you just continue to score points every single time you have the ball, you know, your defense is not going to be able to. You know, they got to stop them at least once, right? Once or twice a game. And you can fill that with some good veteran depth that's out there and yada, 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 yakety smackety. You know what I mean? There's ways around that. Jeremiah Love, man, that's a once-in-a-lifetime blue-chip type talent. You just add him right back into that backfield, and he looks a lot like your boy AP you just mentioned earlier. And you add that to Kyler, to JJ, to Hawk, you know, your favorite tight end. I mean, good Lord, man. Oh, and let's not forget Jordan
Ken's favorite tight end. It's not my favorite tight end. It's not even close.
Oh man, but yeah, that's my intriguing offer. And then as far as who they trade up with, I would assume that it would be up to get up ahead of the Commanders, because I think the Commanders are eyeballing him pretty hardcore too. So my thought would be that they know they're going to need to get up ahead of them in order to get that man on their team. So if that trade happens, it'll happen in the top 6 picks.
I mean, they would really have to trade up, and they're sitting at 18 right now, and they'd have to get all the way up, in my opinion. They have to get the number 3 pick with Arizona, because the Titans are sitting right there, and Love would be a perfect addition to the Titans. You got Cam Ward, you got a running game.
I think the Titans go with Tate.
I don't know. They just brought in some receivers. I think they go Jeremiah Love.
I mean, they could always do O-line or D-line too, and just take one of those studs that's at the top of the board there.
No.
So, there's a chance, like you said. I mean, if they go all the way up to 3, they're giving up quite a bit for that. Now, I don't think that would be an intention. Like, my thought would be, if this trade were to happen, that would mean Love would be on the board at 5.
Yeah, I like this comment here too by Shadow. So I could see the Commanders like getting antsy and wanting to move up with the Titans and getting and trading with them, and have the Titans move back, pick up a bunch of additional draft capital, and then the Commanders, because that would be a good spot. Love with Daniels. They have kind of a thin receiving core, so McLaren's getting old, and so I know they just brought in Chig, but if they bring Love in, now you're talking about RPO with Jaden Daniels. I mean, that would be pretty lethal right there. So yeah. I think when it's all said and done, and who knows, because the draft there's always crazy stuff going on. Like, somebody out of nowhere trades up and grabs a guy, and you're like, I never saw that coming. But if there's,
by the way, Scotty, you don't get to steal DGen's trade up and use that as yours. All right,
no,
you still have to be your own.
No, I didn't want to use that one. I just don't think I don't think anyone's gonna trade up. I just think that he's gonna go right to the Titans.
No, you don't get to do that either. No copping out here, buddy. All right, I want to hear your hypothetical, if you don't think it'll happen, hypothetical trade up into the top 10. There's always a trade into the top 10.
Does it have to be for Love, or can it be for?
It can be for whatever you want. It's your call, man. This is Scott World, baby. Right up there on your little tricycle like Bobby, dude, and just throw it out there like it's your world.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not crazy about this draft. I don't think there's a lot of good players coming out in this draft, so I don't think there's going to be any players that are worth giving up future draft capital to go up and get. I mean, maybe like Tate. I do like Tate, but I mean, who's really trading up for receiver?
Well, I'll tell you who's trading up. This podcast right now, because we are bringing in a third, yes, that's right, a third guy to join the show right now. Our good buddy, the bracketologist himself, Psyborg. What's up, Borgie?
What's up, everybody? How's it going? How's it going?
You your fingernails before you showed them to the camera like that.
Man, I got to keep my nails trimmed and clean because I work in the health industry. So yeah, I got to stay pristine.
That's right, man. I mean, you're basically a hand model, so you got to keep those things looking good.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw them ribs you made the other day too, man. Those things looked pretty good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what? Hey, how can y'all not even acknowledge? Look at Trader Clem. Look at that dude. He's over there number 1 on my Sweet 16 pool right now. I might add.
We were waiting for you to come in here. We didn't want to let all that info out.
Do you guys see that? I think I got a little bit of dirt on the shoulder. Let me just take care of that.
Man, I'm down there at like number 17 or something. I ain't got no shot, but I do have. I had a shot in my other pool, hotter than hell. I was at number 7 this weekend. That's all until yesterday, and freaking Dukes, the Duke boys.
Game that cost you is the game that got me the like first place right now, bro. Because that UConn shot literally like flipped us like that, bro. I was the like one that was upset and went right back to being happy, and it went the other way around for you, man. And we were actually texting back and forth at the time too. So it was a pretty.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I mean, that's madness. Oh, that's why it's called that, I guess.
Yeah,
but that's bum. All right.
Oh man, so we were just talking a little bit of draft here, buddy, on the NFL side of the fence again. You know, going back over to what we're supposed to be talking about here on a fantasy football podcast. But talking a little NFL draft over here, and I want to bring up Cool Tyrant's comment over here. He's talking about before the ETN trade, he thought for sure Love was going to go to New Orleans, and that's a great call. I mean, so did I, right? The second coming of Kamara would have been a perfect setup for him. Kamara could have rode off into the sunset, gave him a little teachings on the way out the door. And everything would have been copacetic, right? Little Zen moment there. But nope, none of that happened. They went after ETN instead and brought him in, which really surprised me. I know it wasn't a trade. It was more of a free agent signing, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, man, I mean, do you think that at any point in time, though, do you think that they still target another back, Scotty, in New Orleans? Because I really do think that there's a chance they go after one of those guys like Coleman, Price, something like that. That they can maybe snag in that mid to late second or even drop into the third round.
Yeah, 100%. There's a little bit of talent there, and I could see them grabbing somebody in the second or third round. Yeah, for sure. I could totally see it. 100%.
Yeah,
so
me too, man. I think there's some depth need there, and even if they bring Kamara back, like they're potentially rumored out right now about that, I still don't think that that's going to end up being anything that matters when it comes to what they do in the draft room. They have oft injured Kendre Miller back there and Devin Neal, and beyond that, they really don't have anything else. So some solid depth with the guy that actually has got, a little bit higher level talent, drafts, abilities, things like that give them more of a potential to break out in the NFL. Whereas Devin Neal and Miller, I think we kind of know what they are at this point. So
yeah, you want to, and I was kind of doing some research on some running back too, real quick, and just there's one guy that's stuck out as far as like you're asking about running back depth in this draft. There's this one guy I was looking at his tape today. It's Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. This guy's 6'1", 223, and he runs a 4.3.
That's Addie's boy.
I mean, really fat.
That's Addie's boy that he's been touting for a while now.
Yep.
And yeah, that's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. And like you said, he'd be a perfect complement to an ETN. That style of runner and that system, I think would be a great person to throw right in there and be that 1B to 1A, And speaking of 1B to 1A, there's potential here. This is an intriguing comment by Shadows here. He brought up two things. First we'll quickly just mention the fact that the Browns withdrew their rule change proposal that would have allowed people to change up to 5 years in advance instead of 3 on trade picks, which, I mean, that could have made a huge difference when it comes to these trading up for number 1 overall type trades. But yeah, there's probably reasons why they pulled it. Maybe it wasn't even going to have a shot anyways, and they want to refine it and try again next year. Who knows? But this is the one that I really want to talk more about right here. And I think this is a very intriguing scenario. Free agent running back Najee Harris is visiting the Seahawks. So for me, and also we've got the Niners, throwing in their hat in the ring as well. So between those two different teams, obviously to me, the Seahawks one is the more intriguing of the two based on the fantasy perspective. You've got a really, I don't know what. I'd say he's probably not going to be ready for at least the first month of the season, I would say, in Zach Charbonnet coming back from his torn ACL. And then on top of that, we always know that it takes time for those guys, unless your name is Adrian Peterson, to come back from that injury anyway. So even if he does come back, he's not going to be like, per se the same guy right away. So do you think that Najee signing in Seattle is, number one, should be a no-brainer for Seattle, because there's really not much else that they can do other than draft to help that position right now? And if they can get him on the right price, go for it. And number two, do you feel like once he signs, if he signs with them, that he now becomes a potential fantasy radar player as far as it's concerned? Because he's dropping into the 20s in some of our best ball drafts currently.
Yeah, I think it would be a no-brainer for Seattle for sure. I think it would be a good fit, but I actually think it'd be, and I know it's not going to be, I know the fantasy players aren't going to want to hear this, but as far as let's just go NFL now. I think if the 49ers signed Najee, I think that would be better for the team for him as far as a player, because I think they definitely want to cut back with McCaffrey's usage. And I think Harris and Charbonnet are the same type of back. I think Charbonnet has better hands, but you couldn't be two different running backs than Christian McCaffrey and Najee Harris. Harris is more of a banger between the tackles. And even though McCaffrey can run between the tackles, he's more of a hands guy, receiving out of the backfield. So I actually think the Niners would be a better fit for him. But for fantasy purposes, the Seahawks would be good for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, I don't understand why you think that would be a better fit for him. He's going to be on the bench a lot more in that offense than he would be in Seattle. No, even if Charbonnet comes back, like we said, he's not going to be ready to roll. I mean, maybe even through the whole season to be that guy. So Najee could be the 1A to the 1B in that scenario, where he'll never be that in San Fran. So if I'm Najee, I don't want to be behind Christian unless I don't want to run. And I just want to stay healthy and have a chance at a Super Bowl. And,
McCaffrey hasn't been he was healthy last year, but he's an older back. He's been nicked up. And if he gets nicked up and there's nobody else there, so he would step right into the running back one role. So, you can't say it's not a good spot, because I think it is. I think it would be a good spot, just not a good spot fantasy purposes, but for, Shanahan wants to run the ball. He's not going to run McCaffrey into the ground. He's going to get carries. I can see Harris getting 100, 125 carries a year.
All right, well, keeping right along with the same fantasy graybeard theme that we've been running with for the last few minutes, let's talk about the next old man running back that's on the market still. Mixon's out there still, ready to roll. He says he's healthy. He's out there looking for a team. If he gets signed somewhere, Seattle again, they need a running back until Charbonnet's healthy. That's a squad that could use him. There's other places out there, obviously, that wouldn't mind picking him up. Do you think Mixon is a guy that you want to have on your team as far as, these best ball drafts, where you could probably get Mixon as your last pick, right? I mean, I think I actually have taken him in a couple of drafts as my last pick. And I mean, just because of exactly what we talked about, like if he gets signed, he's instantly going to be at least an RB2, right?
Yeah, he got
not on RB2 on fantasy, but RB2 on his team.
Yeah, he was off all last year, so there's no excuses. He had a whole year where he didn't do anything. Foot injury must have been really bad, so to be off that much. So yeah, he comes back completely healthy, gets signed. At worst, he's an RB2, and then he's been proven that he's good at the goal line. So worst case scenario, he's the goal line back. And
he hasn't even played. I mean, how do we know it? How do we know how he plays even right now? I mean, it's all up in the air to me. I mean,
yeah.
I like how Psyborg chimes in on the Joe Mixon conversation, right? You notice that's that Texas boy right there, and him coming in. He said, "Oh, I know this guy. Let's talk about him."
Yeah, he's sour. He's sour. He didn't even play last year.
He was supposed to come back, it's late September, early October, and I mean, come on. I'm not even draft. He's on my no draft list at the moment. So
come on now, don't sugarcoat it.
What's up, Lilith?
What's going on, Lilith? How you doing, my friend? I agree with you, man. I do think that if he signs somewhere, he's going to play. I think he's the type of player, man. He's better than a lot of these second running backs on teams that are out there right now. He's definitely not any lower than the top 64 backs in the league. So I think he's going to get an opportunity somewhere, and he's worth at least taking with that way last pick. And it's on a best ball league, Cyborg, so you could literally just set it and forget it, and you don't have to worry about actually like putting him in your lineup. Okay. Again, on the Fantasy Graybeard section, we're going to go ahead and move on into the next one. I do want to say real quick, though, for our buddy Admiral Larry here. What's up, my friend? He's talking about Seattle drafting a running back early. I do agree with you there. They're another one that Scotty should have talked about, somebody trying to trade up for Jeremiah Love, even though he couldn't come up with a trade. So, that's one I would have went with if I was him. But it's good to hear from you, my friend. Glad to have you on the show. So the next Graybeard, David Njoku. This is another player that I'm taking quite a bit of in these drafts because he's dropping far enough where he's getting to a point that as soon as he signs, whoever he signs with, not to say he's going to be their tight end one, but he's going to be in their offense. And he's going to be worthwhile in a TEP to take at 16, 17. That's where he's dropping to about this point. So, Scott, how many shares of Njoku do you have? And do you think once he signs that's going to jump up his draft value and potentially, up into the top, maybe 12 rounds if he gets to the place where he's the TE1?
I got maybe a couple shares. I don't mind getting him. He's a very talented player. He showed that in Cleveland when he was healthy. Big body, big target. Somewhere like maybe Miami might be a spot for him. Another spot. I know the Bucks were, even though they signed Otten, that could be maybe a spot.
Yep.
So
I got an intriguing option for you, and I know you're not going to like it that much because it's going to kill one of your other guys that you really do like's value, but New England.
I think New England would be a great spot.
Put him in New England, and have him play the 1A, 1B with Hunter Henry, and I think that's a really intriguing opportunity with the way Drake May, in my opinion, is going to play this season because I think Drake May has it. I think he's going to be a top 10, top 8 quarterback for fantasy for a while moving forward. His receivers, his tight ends are going to benefit from that.
Yeah, no doubt. So, but yeah, there's a few spots that could pick him up, and I know they have AJ Barner there in Seattle, and they drafted a rookie, but imagine putting him there with Sam Darnold. He'd be a nice big target there. You got JSN there to free up some more space, so you got Njoku
in the same division and put him in LA.
Yep.
Put him on the Rams. Yeah,
the Rams are actually kind of looking for a tight end too, even though they got that rookie and they still have Higbee. I know they were looking for a tight end too.
Yeah, that would be the Rams would be really intriguing, honestly, especially if there is any truth to the rumor of Devontae Adams getting traded out of town. Now, my honest opinion is if Devontae's leaving, AJ's coming in, so I don't think that's going to change much when it comes to the tight end targets. But, even if Devontae stays there, I do still think if Njoku signs, he instantly becomes a pretty solid tight end too for you.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not signed already.
Me too. And I think it's because he's waiting. I think he wants to see where Sadiq goes. He doesn't want to end up going signing somewhere and then they draft Sadiq. And he's like, come on now. I just got done with this. He wants to have this on his own, right? So my guess is that he's going to wait and see what happens with the draft falls and then find out where he feels like is the best opportunity for him after that. Just like a lot of guys are. Brandon Cooks, same thing. He was talking to Buffalo the other day. I read this on one of my insider texts just earlier that they've been in communication. Brandon said he's in communication. Brandon Bean is in communication with Cooks all the time and just keeping in touch. And he's basically in a wait and see until after the draft. And he also said that they're very open to taking a wide receiver at the 26th spot. So if that happens in Buffalo, then Brandon Cooks probably won't get signed unless it's for vet minimum. Otherwise, if they don't take a receiver early in this draft, I'd be shocked if Cooks isn't back on the Bills. So that's another player late in these drafts. Take a guy like Brandon Cooks. He's probably going to sign somewhere and play, even if it's late in the year. It'll be with a contender with a good quarterback.
Yeah.
So
one more team for Njoku too that I just kind of popped in. What about the Panthers, man? They could definitely use Njoku.
That'd be really intriguing too because Sanders he had a good looking rookie season, but then didn't really do much on it after that. So, bringing in a solid guy like Njoku for sure can get open. That's a really, really good option. Throw him in Kansas City, dude. Let him in Let him and Kelsey go run around in that offense together, dude. That would be a really crazy offensive situation there. Anyways, but yeah, let's move on, man. We've talked a lot about Njoku. We don't need to stay on that train forever, but we've got a little thing here. He's talking about Howie Roseman bringing in the ghost of Elijah Moore to try to placate A.J. Brown. So basically he's saying he's bringing in A.J.'s best friend to come play with him and hoping that A.J. will calm down. And, I can understand why you feel like you might have to do that. To be honest with you, if I'm Howie, I'm trying to move A.J. as quick as I can because I think the guy's cancer in your locker room. But that's just my personal opinion. I would like to – I'd talk to the Rams and be like, hey, let's just swap them in. Throw me an extra first rounder. I'll send you A.J., you send me Devontae, and I'll give me a first rounder as well, and we're good to go, Like that's what I'd be looking at. But, again – that it is what it is. That's not my opportunity to do that because I'm not the great and wonderful Howie Roseman, who I cannot talk mess about right now because he is probably the top GM in football.
He's for sure the top GM in football.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's an Eagle, but what can you do, right? Oh, man. So, yeah, a lot of these guys in the comments, man, they're really agreeing with us. I'm just reading through to make sure we don't have any more of these awesome little nuggies that we like to get from Shadow, where he throws us all these cool little tidbits that make so much more money, or it makes so much more intrigue for our show here. I said money because he was dropping Miami as $175 million in dead cap money, which was like, what? That's like, huh? Like, I thought the Broncos did bad with the Russell thing, but I think Miami might be on top of that now. So, I mean, Scotty, we talked a lot about the draft right now. Is there anything else that we want to discuss? I know there's been a little bit of movement with these owner meetings, not anything too crazy. They've been having some issues with their refs, but nothing that I feel like we need to discuss on a fantasy football podcast. But, let's before we go too crazy on the next thing that I want to talk about, since we got Psyborg here, let's roll back into that March Madness real quick and talk a little bit about your brackets. You said that you're at 7 and is that your hotter than hell bracket, your big man bracket?
No, I said I was at 7.
I mean, it's not like I purposely set you up for that. I really honestly did not do that on purpose.
Yeah, it was
not meant to make you feel bad, I promise.
But I enjoyed it. It was a overnight, a whole 24 hours of sheer joy because I've never gone that far in my own bracket ever, and I've been running it about 5 years, and I'm like, yeah, man, I may have a shot. Duke has got it in the can, man. Early in the game, I got it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Did y'all get all that? Did you get all that? Okay,
got all that.
What?
I hope you had enough beer
and you get all
that was made there, Psyborg. Otherwise, I'd be worried about you. I'd be sending over a wellness check. Make sure you're okay. But how far did that drop you down, though? What are you at, like 12 now?
Number 12 or something like that. Yeah.
So now you're tied with me. You drop down into my boat, huh? You're like, hey, I'm gonna go kick it with you, dude. You're fun. I like you. Let's go hang out in the 12 spot. And
Cyborg, do you know what first place is getting?
Do what now?
You know what first place is getting? What's the payouts?
What first place is getting? Yes. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, pull up your payouts there, buddy. And he would have known if he didn't lose that game. He would have known right off the top of his head what first is getting. But since he lost that game, he has to go look up the
first place is getting. First place is 50% of the pot. They are getting $3,005. So 3005.
Wow,
that's a key.
Yes. And second place is getting 1500 on second place. So, yeah, we got some big stakes going on here. So somebody's gonna get it. I mean, let's see who's in first place right now.
Is that one guy still in first that you said was like globally like really good?
Yeah. Pull up
no, he's gone. He got knocked down, man. He got knocked down. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
If you hadn't have said anything, I think he'd have been fine up there at the top. But you had to go and put his name out there in the Ethernet and just like totally ruin
it. Yep. We got James Robinson is number 1. He's new to my pool, so he's new. We got JoJo number 3. We got a good friend of mine, Kevin. He's at number 3, and we got. Double down, number 5.
That's Dan, baby. That's our boy Dan over at DGen.
And let's see, this me and you
to win some money in that one, huh?
Yeah, we got Ralphie up in there too. He's been around a minute. So yeah, a lot of people are doing well that have been around for a while. So I love it. I love it.
So how far do you think, like, if you're talking, you pay the top 5, right? How far do you think that realistically somebody can jump up to get into payday, right? Do you think the people at the 7 spot, you think they got a shot to get into the payday still? Or how far down do you think top 10 could still jump in that high? Or do you think the top 10, if you're at 9 or 10, you're not in?
I think in the past I've seen like my number 8 hit the top 5 in the end because they hit the championship or whatever and got the points necessary. But they didn't hit the top, but they were in the definitely top 5. So
yeah,
that's the only one I really noticed.
All the way down through the top 10, top 15, it's only 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. It's like, 3 teams that have the same, and then 4 teams that have 1 point less, and then 3 teams that have 1 point less. And so it's like really a close battle in that top 15.
Yeah. Shit. Oh.
Whoa, hey,
hold on. I'm outside. There's a damn wasp. Right there. Look at there's a wasp. I'm outside. So there's a wasp.
Sitting on a beach, Jeez Louise, man. By the way, why am I the only one on the show with sleeves today? What's wrong with you people?
Oh yeah.
It's hot.
I love it, man. I'm wearing my Psyborg green. Scott's wearing his white. And I love that little shiny spot on your forehead there that light is creating. I love it.
Scott's the light bulb that comes on when Scott has a good idea.
That's my signature trademark right there.
Oh yeah. I should have some Hawaiian music going on in the background here. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, we're ready for summer.
Let's talk about going off on a tangent. That's got absolutely nothing to do with what we're supposed to be talking about. But it was totally worth it.
Continue. Sorry.
This is why we love having Psyborg on the show, everybody. He brings a certain type of wacky that you just don't get anywhere else.
Wacky?
That's for sure.
He said,
don't get me started again, man. I'm gonna allow you to go on, man.
So great. Oh man, dude. You know what? You don't need sleeves. You can come on without your sleeves. That's totally fine.
Man, it's 85 degrees out here in Texas right now. I love it out here. That's why I set my thing up outside today. So I love it.
Yep, nothing wrong with that.
Awesome. Yeah. You and Scott in your hot and your warm weather areas. I mean, obviously it's warm here too in Vegas. I shouldn't talk mess. Like, it's probably warmer here. But it's too warm out here. I didn't want to be sitting outside out here 90% of the time. But so we got one more thing to talk about. We're getting close to the point in time here. We want to move into our last little tidbit today, guys. And this is pretty awesome news right here. I shouldn't call it little. This is actually a pretty epic thing that's coming here for you guys. So we've got this buddy of ours. He's got this new app out, right? It's called the Draft Pro. And let me tell you all about the Draft Pro here, guys. What this app does for you, I'm going to pull this up on the screen and we can talk all about the Draft Pro. And you know what? Actually, for some reason, I'm going to have to there he is. Cyborg, what did you do? I don't know why you left, but we're not letting you leave yet. You still got to talk about the Draft Pro no matter what you want. We're going to keep you hostage here for another 15-20 minutes. So there. But the Draft Pro is this awesome new app, guys. So what this basically is it's a draft prediction game. So you're going to try to predict the pick for the NFL draft, right? Pretty simple, basic little concept. The difference is that you don't have to worry. We all know that, like, it's hard to predict the picks alone, but then you got to deal with trades and who might trade here or there, or what's going to happen with movement, which we all know always does happen. It's never the same pick that we're looking at currently. So that's not something you need to worry about, though, with this. This one here, you can do it if you want, just for the fun of it, but it's not necessary. You get the opportunity just to pick the player and where they get picked at, right? So no matter what the team is, as long as they get picked in that spot that you said they were getting picked at, you're good to go. And we're going to offer this game up for you guys, too, on a secondary basis. So he has his Predict the Pick, where the perfect bracket can win up to $1 million. And that is a pretty epic setup. So that one is totally free to enter for you guys, just like ours is. So I would recommend you do both. Get in there and do that one absolutely now. All you got to do is go download the Draft Pro app, either at your Apple Store or your Google Play Store. And you can get that going on your phone, create your account, and then here in the next week or so, probably within the next few days before next Monday's show, me and Scott will have a post up for you guys in our Sleeper Hub that will give you the code to join our war room. because not only is he offering up a game, but here at Sudden Death Fantasy Sports, we always love to give you non-rake back free money. So we're going to throw up another contest for you guys. We're going to do our own little draft. You guys are going to predict the picks. Whoever gets the top spot, you're getting $100 right your way. Now, don't think you're the only one that wins, because you get your money for sure. But 2 and 3, you guys are going to get a little something too. We're going to give you guys a free entry into our next best ball bracket games. Are going to be starting up after the NFL draft. So everybody who enters, the top 3 people are going to get something in their pockets, either money or a free entry. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's totally free for you guys to get in. All you got to do is download the Draft Pro, and we'll give you the code on our hubs to get in there, and we can get moving with it. All right. There's not going to be any other thing to worry about. You guys don't have to worry about depositing any money into anything, because this is going to be a totally sponsored by us pot. So there is absolutely no need for you guys to pay a dime. I'm really excited about this. If you get in here and you look at this app, this is what you're going to find, guys. You're going to get in here. You're going to build your draft. And all you got to do is run through the picks, right? You go right here, you click your add player, sort by position. Who do we think it's going to be here, Scott? It's going to be Fernando Mendoza, right? Let's pick
Yes,
Fernando.
sir.
All right, so he's going to be the first pick. And then we got the Jets here, guys. So as the Jets, right, what are we thinking? The Jets, man, we just talked about it. Should we go back to the quarterback spot again and go with Ty Simpson here in the quarterback spot? I think that might be the way to go. Let's do it. And that's all you're going to do. You're going to walk down each guy like that. You're going to knock it out, and you're going to pick your guys. You're going to submit your draft, and we're going to be good to go. So if you guys, like I said, need anything with this, any help with this, you can reach out to us. We're going to be here to give you guys a hand as you walk through this if you need it. But it's a very simple process. I think you guys can figure it out. And we'll get you those codes and everything so you can jump in our war room ASAP. On top of that,
man, I think that's going to be harder than March Madness. That's going to be harder than March Madness. Filling that out.
Way harder.
Oh yeah, freaking right.
Way.
Oh, 100%.
That's awesome, though. I love it. I might try it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more difficult. The top so-and-so picks, like, I've done okay. I've gotten to 5 or 6 picks deep and been like pretty on point up to certain drafts, right? I'm nowhere near close in this draft to being able to do that, but in previous drafts, that I'd pay a little more attention to before we had Josh Allen on our team, I would always kind of know a little bit more about what's going to happen in the top of the draft. But we get down into those mid-teens and later, I'd be so far off. So, it's not going to take a lot to win these things. You're not going to get a lot right. Nobody is. That's why the perfect draft wins you $1 million, man. It's not easy. There has never been a perfect bracket, right? You just said this is harder.
No, definitely hard. Definitely harder.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it, though. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to have Kyle and Teddy from Draft Pro on the show with us here in a couple of weeks on the 13th, Monday the 13th. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this, go into a little more in depth into the NFL draft as it's getting closer and closer, and have some fun. They're great guys. It's going to be a pretty epic show. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And I'm really hoping that we can get a lot of you guys out there and get in on this one, because who doesn't want free money, right? Get in here, get a bracket build, get a draft. I shouldn't say bracket. Get a draft order built, and we'll see who wins, man. There's a leaderboard and everything to track. It's going to be a lot of fun to follow along during the NFL draft and see how it goes.
Yes, it's going to be definitely a lot of fun. And I think the way to win these things is you got to be off the wall, man. You got to have off the wall picks. That's the only way you're going to win these things.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I'm qualified for that. I'm qualified. I might win something.
Yep. And like you said, just because you don't pick the player, Shadow's talking about an AJ Brown trade happening during the draft, which I do agree that could very well and most likely will happen. If that's something that happens, that's going to change the draft order. Doesn't mean that you have to predict where that team trades up to or anything like that, but wherever they trade up to is probably going to change whoever the player was you had selected to go to a different team at that spot. So, you got to kind of account for the potential of, like, even though that this team doesn't want this guy, maybe they're not the ones picking there. And this guy's the right guy for that spot. So say a guy like a Carnell Tate drops out of the top 10, you think it's 11. I think he's got to go to 11, right? Even if it's not somebody who's going to take him themselves, somebody's going to trade up.
Yeah.
So you got to be prepared for that if you're going to try to do that prediction status, baby. And you're going to get 2 shots. You get a bracket with us, or I keep saying bracket. You get a list with them and a list with us, right? So you're going to have 2 options to try to win, either their money or our money.
Yep. And there you go. The Eagles and Patriots are going to have joint practices. So,
see, look at that. And so are the Bills and the Browns, by the way, guys. They agreed to have a joint practice also this season. Just heard that as well. And happy birthday to Ryan Talbot out there at the Buffalo Podcast. Go Bills.
Jeez.
So yeah, man. So that's basically everything I had scheduled for us to chat about today, guys. Is there anything you guys want to talk about for a last minute, little sign off, little segment here, little discussion before we roll on out of here? What do you think's gonna happen? Let's do that. Let's do a little prediction status on the March Madness. We got Final Four. We've got Arizona. We got Michigan on one side. We got Illinois. We got UConn on the other. Scotty, you start with you, man. Who's gonna win those two games? Who's in the championship game?
Well, I mean, I think this is going to, like I said, I think the real championship game is going to be Arizona, Michigan. So, and I'm not going to bet against my Wolverines. I think they're the best team I've ever seen come through Michigan, better than the Fab Five, better than the Glenn Rice years. But to be the best team, to go down as being one of the best Michigan teams, you're going to have to win it all. And you're going to have to go through which I think is the best team in the tournament's Arizona, so you got to slay the Dragons. So I'm going to take my Wolverines in a really, really close game. This is going to be a really exciting game. It's going to be the late game, the second game. So everyone's going to watch the first game, and then this will be the big game that the headliner that we're going to want to watch. So I got Michigan, and then you know what? After what UConn did to Duke, I like Dan Hurley a lot, and I just think. I think Dan Hurley's going to get them back to the championship game. So I'm going to pull for UConn, and I'm going to say Michigan, UConn national championship game with Michigan.
Don't say who's going to win. We don't need to know that yet because we're going to talk about that next week.
Oh, well, everyone knows who I'm going to pick. So
I know that, but I don't need to hear you say it. Cyborg.
Michigan.
Cyborg, buddy, you got any predictions on this Final Four matchups right here? Who's it going to take, man? Who's going to get there?
Well, I think in that one bracket that's still up there with you in my pool is I got Illinois.
Yeah, you do, Cyborg.
I saw somewhere, I must have read an article somewhere that somebody favored them, and I'm like, and this is my third choice bracket, so it's like to me, my third choice bracket is a throwaway. I'm just taking wild shots basically, and so it's worked out fairly well, and, surprisingly, and even though the one I spent the most time on, which was bracket number 1, fell out after round 2. So it's just kind of weird how it's working out. But yeah, I have Illinois going. There's not a lot of Illinois fans out there. I think Ralphie had chosen Illinois with me, and he's up there in the top 20. So we'll see what happens. I think, but ultimately at this point, I think it is going to be. I don't know, man. I'm hoping for Illinois, Michigan and Arizona as well. And Michigan looked really, really good. It's going to be it's a toss up to me, but
you got to pick one, buddy. I'm putting a gun to your head right now. You got to tell me who you taking, Michigan or Arizona.
I'll take Michigan.
All right, and then on the other side, you're taking Illinois. So Michigan, Illinois in the finals.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we've got two different ones. Both of you guys are taking Michigan, and you know what? I mean, if you look at this matchup, right? You got Michigan and Arizona. I do agree that they're the top two teams left in the brackets at this point. They're both solid squads, and Michigan does look great, man. They've been kicking butt. I think they're like the only team to win by more than 20 points 4 straight games in a row or something like that. And,
shooting them threes is what wins you championships, right?
Yeah, I mean, so it's really hard not to pick Michigan in that game, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm going with Arizona winning that game and taking Scotty's Wolverines out.
Whoa!
Final Four, not in the
boo. That's okay. Todd Barber's on our side. He's with the blue, the go blue. Todd Barber.
I'm thinking it's Arizona, baby. Arizona's gonna win that game, and they're gonna ride that momentum into a championship matchup against the UConn Huskies. Right in that victory from the other day over Duke with the last second win. With Mo winning both sides, those are the two teams in the finals, in my opinion. And I'll tell you guys,
UConn ain't going to have a repeat miracle, man. There's no repeats coming up for UConn. I'm sorry. They used it up. That's it.
I am pulling for both you guys to cash, but I know probably only one of you is going to be able to cash in Cyborg's pool. So why not give it to the host, man? Actually, you know what? If Michigan loses, I'll be pulling for Cyborg to get Illinois in and get the win.
There you go.
Yep,
Hey,
yep.
I'll be rooting. Honestly, I think Cyborg's and his hotter than hell pool, even though I'm sitting at 12th, I don't think I really realistically can make any kind of waves to get into the top 5. So if there's nothing I can do, I would absolutely 100% be rooting for Psyborg to get there. So it's not going to bother me one bit at all if Illinois ends up winning and going.
Oh, I know, right? If they win, I'll be like, I'll be surprised.
Now the Michigan lose it. Like I also do have a little bit of a reason, obviously, for going Arizona. That's who I have picked to win it all. So I would like to see my bracket solidify the victory with an Arizona win, so I don't have to be concerned what happens in the finals. But I'm not gonna, say that I don't think Michigan is like, I think Michigan is. If I didn't have that going on, I probably would pick Michigan. I'm not gonna lie. Like they're good. So, we'll see how it plays out. It's gonna be a great game, one way or the other. It's gonna be an amazing game.
Yep, and we will all know. Actually, we will not know the result of the championship game until after our show.
Yeah, that's why I told you not to tell us who's gonna win, because we got to talk about that before our show. Because next week we're gonna be on right before the game.
Well, you know what? I'm either gonna be dressed in maize and blue, or I'm going to be wearing a mask.
Yeah, or I'm going to have a different coat.
Do it, man. Go to Party City, pick up your gear. Let's go.
If you guys see just me on the air next week, you know why.
Yes, I will be drowning in my sorrows.
Oh, man. Well, you know what, Scotty? We don't want you drowning in your sorrows, because you know what happens if you do, don't you?
I don't know. What are you going to replace me?
And it is a mess.
Definitely a kabacle.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. On that note, we had to throw one kabagle in here somewhere, right?
Oh wait. I got one other word. Real quick. Y'all about to go off? Oh. Anyway, just want to remind everybody real quick spot. I still got pools coming up. The NBA playoffs pool coming up. It's called Space Ace Jam for Ace Frehley that died this past October. And also, we got a hockey pool coming up, hockey playoffs, NHL playoffs. So that's called Ice Road Puckers.
There you go. Gotta love, you know what? And
of course, it's a Cyborg name. I mean, who would have thought of that, right?
Yeah. And I just let everybody know, Cyborg does such a great job with his promo videos, his names for his pools. I mean, he's a one of a kind. He's the best on Sleeper, and he's the pool guy. You got to play his pools. They're so much fun, and he does a great job running them.
I like that Cyborg, the pool guy. I'm kind of like that one, man. We might have to start doing that.
Man, that's how porn videos start out. I'm the pool guy. I'm here to clean your pool.
On that note. Oh man, I love it.
Thanks for checking in, Beers. Better late than never, but he did check in.
Oh yeah, he's probably been here just laughing at us the whole time. Oh man. All right, we better get out of here before we do something that we regret. So if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be here for you guys. Next time we'll be live we got a special edition episode coming up on Thursday. Speaking of beers, we've got a draft with a lot of Beers boys coming up for one of our best ball drafts. We're going to do a live episode on a fast draft one. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Check us out. It'll be Thursday, like I said, 6 p.m. on the best coast, 9 p.m. on the other coast. And from there, we're going to be back again next Monday for you guys, hitting up the Press Box Live. And we got all our abs coming. Our 6-minute abs are still dropping daily for you guys, covering all of the drafts that have happened and recapping those bad boys. We got a special edition one coming soon for our Dynasty draft that just ended. That one's going to be a lot of fun. So there's always things happening here at Sudden Death Fantasy Sports. So definitely subscribe, join our Sleeper Hub, get in on our Draft Pro competition, download the Draft Pro app, and make sure that you guys, on top of all of that, have a really, really great day. from myself, Sean, my co-host Scott, and our good friend, the pool guy Cyborg, we are out of here.